Do you ever break out after you shave or after you wax or maybe when you go in the hot tub? This is usually something called folliculitis, and today I'm going to explain to you about what exactly folliculitis is, what we can do about it, what causes it, basically everything. But for those of you who have never heard of folliculitis yet, it is an inflammation of the hair follicle, and generally this ends up looking like a little pimple. Now this can happen anywhere on the body, but generally we see this happen on the face. This is caused usually because when you shave or wax or do something that can irritate the hair follicle, it can open up the follicle a little bit and it can get infected by something called staph bacteria. So that's the most common cause of this. It can also get infected by fungi, viruses, and also folliculitis can happen because of ingrown hairs, which is another really common cause of it. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced that type of thing. And I want to explain to you guys a little bit more about what it is today. So like I said, this can happen anywhere on the body, but the place where your hair follicles are the deepest and thus the most prone to being inflamed is on your scalp and on your head, your face, your beard, if you're a man, all sorts of head areas. But then again, also a lot of people do have a lot of hair in their body, like on their chest or their back, and so those hairs that are thickest and the darkest are also in deeper hair follicles rather than, areas maybe more like your forearms or the inside of your arms where the hair is a bit thinner and not as dark and deep. So there are a lot of factors that put you more at risk for having folliculitis, and of course number one being having acne in general. So people who don't have acne can definitely have folliculitis, can definitely have these inflamed follicles on their body when they shave or do quite a few different other things, but people who have acne are definitely the most prone to having this happen. So for those of us who have acne, just another thing to put on the scoreboard against us. But also long-term antibiotic use or steroid creams, men who have curly hair who shave. So like I have curly hair, you can definitely see that right now. When my beard grows out, it gets very curly, and if I shave, those little tiny stubble actually have a bit of a curve, and a lot of times some of those curved hairs can actually turn around and grow back into your hair follicles and your pores, and that can cause an inflamed hair follicle. Also, wearing clothes that trap like heat and sweat, so like really thick clothing, or also clothing that you have to wear for work, so like rubber gloves, or like if you have to wear rubber suits, that can trap a ton of heat and a lot of sweat, which can inflammate your hair follicles. Hot tubs, and also, yeah, I know, hot tub's kind of crazy. Shaving and waxing. So you might have seen somebody, or maybe you've gone waxing before, especially people who are newer to waxing, just because their hair follicles aren't used to being waxed, they'll break out massively. So this happened to me the first time I ever got waxed, and I've only gotten waxed a few times, but I had a competition that I went to, and when I got waxed, my whole back broke out. Currently, my girlfriend just got her lower back waxed, and her lower back is breaking out heavily. And again, this is just because the body's not used to it, and so when you rip out all those hairs, you inflame the hair follicle, and then you get these little red bumps everywhere. So I just mentioned hot tub folliculitis. Now this is like a completely different type of folliculitis than maybe like the shaving type or the waxing type. This is when you go in a hot tub that's not well maintained, it has some skin irritants in it, maybe they're using the wrong chemicals, maybe it's just a little bit dirty, and generally this type of folliculitis causes like red, itchy bumps that later sometimes develop into pimples or pus-filled blisters, and this rash is likely to be worse in areas where your swimsuit is like rubbing against you, or just basically holding contaminated water against your skin. So a lot of times after you get out of the hot tub, the waistband can hold all that water against your skin until you finally take it off. So that's hot tub folliculitis. There's another type of folliculitis called pseudofolliculitis barbae. This is a big scientific way of saying razor bumps. And so a lot of us have experienced razor bumps before, but generally this happens for a lot of men who have, like I said before, thick and curly beards, and this is when you shave and the hair curves back and grows back into your face. That can cause a big bump. Now, other than the really obvious reason of why folliculitis isn't great, because it causes bumps on your face, causes redness, maybe even pus-filled little pimples, that's not fun to go out in public with or just to have on your face or your body, but there are some other complications that are not great either. So one of the things is that because a lot of times this is due to bacteria, it can spread across your body because that bacteria can spread and infect more hair follicles. So a lot of times this won't just be one little bump, it'll actually be a collection, like a little rash or a big area of bumps. And that's because of the bacteria spreading. Another thing that really sucks is that it can actually cause destruction of the hair follicles, which means that your hair follicle, your hair, won't grow back necessarily the same, or it won't grow back at all in a lot of places. So if you get this often, it might be a good idea to see your doctor, because if it's not going away quick enough, or if you're getting it repetitively, then you can actually cause an issue with the hair follicles, which means that your hair would grow back differently and possibly not grow back at all. So a lot of times your beard might have little patches, little holes that it just doesn't grow hair back in. So it's not necessarily the best thing. It can also cause scarring, similar to acne scarring, and it can cause discoloration. So for this, I definitely recommend, I have a company that I work with. It's like one of my favorite skincare companies in the entire world. It's called Vanish, and they have products that are great for scarring. If you do have scarring, or if you have discolored spots, they have a ton of really good products that have things like glycolic acid and vitamin C, which are proven in studies to improve discoloration and also stimulate new collagen growth, which helps out with scarring. So definitely check them out. You can use my code Brian5 or the link in the description below to check that out. Okay, now I'm glad that you stuck out to the end of this video, because there are quite a few different things that we can do to prevent it. And again, there are a lot of different causes, so some of these will work better than others for different people with different types of folliculitis. Now, number one is shave less frequently. A lot of us shave every single day or every other day, and that can cause irritation and inflammation of the hair follicles. That's pretty obvious. Another one, though, is wash your face with warm water and antibacterial soap. And maybe not even just your face, wash any part of your skin before you start shaving. That warm water can help relax the follicle, which can help it not be as irritated and inflamed when you shave it, but also the antibacterial soap, again, can help reduce the spread of bacteria getting into those follicles. Another thing you can do is, this is interesting, shave in the direction of your hair itself. So a lot of times people will shave against the grain, and that can be very difficult for your hair follicles because, again, you are doing it against the grain, right? So you are tugging on that hair a little bit more, which can cause it to be irritated and inflamed. Avoid shaving too close to the skin, and one of the ways that we shave really close to the skin is we use actual razors versus using something like an electrical shaver. So like a Schick or a Norelco, I think they're called, but go on Amazon, you'll see them. They usually have a couple different heads on them and they buzz, right? And so that won't shave it all the way down to the skin. It'll leave just a tiny little bit of stubble, but that's way better and way more acne friendly and way more friendly for sensitive skinned people like myself. Like, I never used an actual metal razor. I've always used a shaver for the last couple of years. Now, that being said, if you are using an actual blade, make sure that it is a very sharp blade, because the sharper it is, the easier time it has cutting off the hair on your face or on your body, and the more dull it is, the more it tugs, and that's a big cause of folliculitis as well. Also, make sure that you're washing the little pieces of hair as you're shaving them. Every maybe 1 or 2 strokes, wash it under the water to get it all off. That way you have a clean cut happening each time. And finally, after you shave, use a moisturizer. Whether you are shaving your body or you're shaving your face, this is a big help as well. When your face is dried out or your skin is dried out, that can definitely cause irritation on the body and on the face. The one that I use personally, because people always ask me whenever I mention a moisturizer, is it has to be a non-comedogenic moisturizer, meaning that it doesn't clog the pores and it won't clog the hair follicles. So the one that I use is a vitamin C cream from Vanish. It is by far the best moisturizer I've ever used, but also, again, it has vitamin C in it, which helps with your sensitive skin. If you do get some redness from shaving, even if it's not necessarily folliculitis, that can be massively helped out by vitamin C, which is great with reducing redness. So that's what I personally use. And there we have it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk here on folliculitis, shaving, waxing, and all things that cause folliculitis. This is something I don't see a lot of people making videos about. Maybe it's not the most buzzword video in the world, but I do feel like it should be out there, because I feel like it's gonna help a lot of people, because we all shave. Whether you have a beard or you don't, a lot of people shave their bodies, their armpits, their forearms, everything, and for those of us who have sensitive skin, you can get folliculitis. So I hope these tips helped you. If you have any tips you'd like to add to this video for other people who are scrolling the comments, please leave them in the comments below. That definitely helps a ton. If you enjoyed the video, give it a big old thumbs up. I want to know what you thought in the comments below. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And remember, you are not alone. You are beautiful, and you're a part of Team Acne. I'll see you guys in the next video.